asshole for telling my stepdaughter that she's not allowed to hang out with my children's friends. For the record, I've never used the your kid versus my kid in real life. They're all my children. I'm only using those terms for the sake of the post. I've been married to my husband for 2 years, together for 4. My stepdaughter is 11. My biological kids are a 16-year-old boy, a 5-year-old boy, and an 8-month-old girl. Just to kick it off, I do want to say that my stepdaughter is very socialized. She does a ton of extra after-school activities, dance, karate, gymnastics, Girl Scouts, things like that. And we do one-on-one time with each child once a week. For the past year or so, my stepdaughter has been a bit of a bully and attention-seeking. We figured maybe it was the news of the baby. We enrolled her in therapy once the behavior started, as well as to make sure to give her some extra love and attention. But it hasn't seemed to have much of a difference. If anything, the behavior is getting worse. So if you have any pointers, I'm open to suggestions. It started with my youngest boy. Whenever he would have friends over, my stepdaughter started attempting to get the kids away from my son, and it always ended with her and my son's friends ganging up on him, telling him that they didn't want to hang out with him because he's stupid, slow, etc. She then would lie to us and say no, his friends were saying that and I was defending him, when we know that's not the truth because we heard her. That's not okay. This is not okay at all. She isn't being very appropriate either. She'll ask my son's 5 and 6-year-old friends if they have a crush on her all the time, and then she acts as if it's the end of the world if they say no. She'll say things like, I know you do. Who wouldn't if they say yes? She plays it up. That's not okay. That is not okay. Through multiple conversations with my stepdaughter that led nowhere, I started hovering and basically playing mediator because she refused to stop. This was a conversation had after she told his girl best friend, a 6-year-old girl, that my son wets the bed and that she shouldn't hang out with my son anymore because he's gross. She then proceeded to go around my son saying, ha ha, she's my best friend now, or it's not my fault that she likes me more than you, and then rub it in his face. This little girl is not okay. And you said that you guys have her in therapy for this. This is not okay. Oh, hell no. She claims that she likes hanging out with younger kids because she's their elder and they have to listen to her. That is not okay. That's not okay. It's a power thing and that is not okay. She's 11. This is not, no, this needs to be nipped in the bud ASAP. Hell no, absolutely not. Fast forward to a few months later. My oldest son gets a girlfriend and she starts hanging around the house. My stepdaughter does everything in her power to stomp on their privacy. And when my son's girlfriend says she doesn't want to hang out with her, my stepdaughter loses it and starts whining, stomping her feet, slamming doors, clinging to her arm, and dragging her around. My son's girlfriend is a very kind girl and always feels bad and ends up hanging out with her, just to have my stepdaughter turn and make faces at my son and say things like, she likes me more than you. She even told his girlfriend that she should break up with him and just be her friend, so she doesn't have to deal with my son hanging around anymore. This girl is going to end up a homewrecker. Like, I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, don't wish something like that on a child. She's going to end up a homewrecker. She's hyper jealous when it comes to any relationship that has nothing to do with her. And she feels like I have the right to bully people into telling me if they like me or not, and then getting upset if they tell me no. And then I have the right to turn around and rub it in someone's face that your girlfriend or your best friend fell for my tantrum. No, this girl is going to end up a fucking homewrecker because she's so obsessed and hyper fixated in being the center of attention in everybody's relationships. This is not okay. Several times her father and I have spoken to her about it. Several times her father and I have intervened while this is going on and put an end to it. And in those moments, she slams through my house as loudly as possible and makes sure that everyone knows that we're being unfair and picking favorites. Her friends are here at least once a week. You need to stop feeding into the shit. She wants attention. I would pretend she didn't exist unless it was something that she absolutely 100% needed. And I would tell everybody else, ignore her. We got a ghost in the house. That's why the cabinets and the doors and stuff is slamming. Don't worry about it. But I was a bit fed up this morning when my son was getting ready to go to a birthday party, the girl that I mentioned above. And when the girl's parents showed up, my stepdaughter runs downstairs and says, okay, I'm ready. I asked what's going on, and both her and the parents say the little girl decided she didn't want my son to go and wanted my stepdaughter to go instead. Hell no, take your little ass back the fuck upstairs and wash something, because no, you don't get to go anywhere. You don't get to go anywhere. I know for a fact that my stepdaughter wielded this plan. I physically heard her telling the little girl to uninvite my son last week. I stepped in and I told my stepdaughter to cut it out. Once the other parent left without my son, I told my stepdaughter that she was not welcome near any of the boys' friends anymore because she's a bully and I'm over it. From this point forward, when the boys have friends over, she's going to either be going to her own friends' houses or to her grandparents. She absolutely loses it. She says that I'm being mean, that I'm angry at her for having so many friends, and that it's not her fault that they like her more. My husband is also pissed at me, thinking I'm pushing it too far. Am I the asshole? No, I truly don't think that you're pushing it too far, because you said that you guys have taken the necessary steps to try to figure out what the issue is. You put her in therapy. She's in extracurricular activities. Her own friends come over and hang out with her, but yet she's still hyperfixated being the center of attention when anybody come and goes in the house. That's not okay. I don't think you're doing anything wrong. Your sons are entitled to being able to hang out with their fucking friends without their sister feeling like they have to hang out with her. They have to do what she wants them to do. And if they don't, she has the right to stomp around the fucking house and throw a goddamn fit. No, absolutely not. That shit is not okay. Your stepdaughter is showing predator fucking behavior. Why are you at 11 years old going to a group of 5-year-olds asking them, do you have a crush on me? And then when they say no, you want to throw a fucking fit. Absolutely not. That is predator behavior, and you have to protect everybody else that's in your house. Her throwing things and slamming stuff around the fucking house when she doesn't get her way, those are anger issues that are unresolved. Again, you've got to make sure that everyone else in the house is fucking safe. So we're going to remove her when the triggers to those situations come around. Because we're not going to stop our other kids from their friends coming over because she don't know how to fucking act. We're going to send her to her friend's house. Since you want to be so friendly with all your friends, go hang out with your fucking friends. Go hang out with grandma and grandpa for a little while because your brothers have friends coming over and you don't know how to act just yet. Just yet, you don't know how to act around people. I don't think you're doing anything wrong. To include something that may or may not be important, she loves her baby sister a great deal. But the only time she wants to hold her or play with her is when someone else goes to. So when my husband gets home from work and takes the baby, she all of a sudden wants her after not spending any time with her all day. Or if my mother comes here and holds the baby, she tries to take the baby away from her and says, my baby. She also tells everyone that she has the baby more than anyone and that she's practically the mom. It's all for seeking attention. My husband needs to get his shit together because none of this shit is fucking okay. So what the fuck would he do other than what you guys are already doing that's not fucking working? He's saying that you're pushing it too far. How much longer are you going to allow your 5-year-old to be tormented? He's wetting the bed. I can only fucking imagine why. It might be because he literally lives with his bully. He lives with his fucking bully. He don't have a moment of goddamn peace. I wonder why he's still wetting the bed. What the fuck does your husband suggest that you do? Because you taking her to therapy, it don't work. You talk to her all the time, it don't work. You step in and stop it, it still doesn't fucking work. You shut it the fuck down, and her response is, you can't punish me for having a whole lot of fucking friends. Like, it's not clicking up here. So what the fuck is your husband suggesting that you do? Am I the asshole for telling my fiance that my little brother is more important than him and our upcoming wedding? I, 30 female, am currently 2 months pregnant with my first child and engaged to my fiance of 3 years, James, 31 male. For a little background, when I was 15, my parents had my baby brother. And 5 years after, when I was 20 and Matt was 5, my parents and Matt were driving home and they got in an accident, resulting in the death of my parents. After the accident, I was completely destroyed and devastated. But I had to pull myself together to be there for my brother, and the following month, I buried my parents. With the help of my aunt and uncle, I applied for guardianship of my brother. It took about 7 months before I was approved. I had to get a stable job and income, which I did. Proper housing for me and my brother, which I did by using money from my inheritance to buy a house and other little things. But in the end, I got the guardianship of my brother. It was hard at first, working while looking after my brother, but it's easy now. But there's still some ups and downs. I would do it all over again for my brother. I met my fiance when I was 27 at a gathering, and we just clicked. And after 3 months of dating, he proposed to me. At first, I said no because I still have my brother to take care of. But after thinking, I said yes. We agreed to wait until we were more financially stable. In the beginning of this year, we wanted to tie the knot since I was pregnant because I didn't want my baby to be born out of wedlock. We started the preparations and the wedding is happening in October. But from what happened last week, Saturday night, it looks like there isn't going to be a wedding. There were many issues before where we fought and it was resolved. For example, the wedding date. The date my fiance wanted for the wedding was on my brother's birthday. No, you're not the asshole. Your fiance fucking sucks. I know this is the first example that you're giving me, but your fiance fucking sucks because you said that you guys have been together for 3 years. That means he has been around, not 1, not 2, but 3 years, knowing when your brother's birthday was, knowing what day you guys celebrated your brother's birthday. Hell no, you're not the asshole because you got the nerve. You have the fucking nerve to specifically choose my brother's birthday as a day to get married. Hell no. I had a problem with that. I wanted to throw my brother a big party because he's turning 14. I offered the week after and we argued. He even ran to his mother to try to convince me, but I stood my ground stating my brother's birthday is important to me. Him and I fought a little more, but we ended up coming to a resolution. Then there were the roles that I wanted my brother to play in the wedding. At first, I offered my brother to be his best man. He said he wanted his best friend to. I said, okay. Then I said, ring boy. He could hold the rings on the little pillow and bring it up to us. But James said he wanted his nephew. I said, okay, and I left it alone. Saturday morning, I was watching this TikTok video where the bride asked her male best friend to be her man of honor, and I thought it was sweet. So I decided to bring it to my fiance. When he came home, I was in the kitchen, and my brother was away at a sleepover at his friend's house. He entered and sat down, and this is what I said to him. I told my fiance I had the perfect role for Matt. He asked me what it was. I told him I thought he could be my man of honor. He asked me what. I told him my man of honor, or I'll call him my brother of honor. It'll all be lovely. My fiance responded with, I thought you wanted my sister to be your maid of honor, so that's not going to work. I never agreed to this, and what about my brother? I want him to play some role in my wedding, is what I told him. He said, I was thinking he could be a guest and sit in the rows. So it's okay for you to deny my brother as your best man, but it's not okay for me to deny your sister as my maid of honor because I want to have my brother play a role in my wedding. How the fuck does your sister and your best friend get to play a role in our wedding, but my fucking brother doesn't? Girl, nah. I like that you said at the beginning of the story that there doesn't seem like there's going to be a wedding because this man is already starting the process to try to push your little brother out of your life. After coming into your life 3 years ago, knowing how dedicated you are to him and how much work you had to do to ensure that you were going to be able to stay with him and raise him yourself. Absolutely not. Toss him to the side. Toss him to the side. Let go of this clown and go and find your king because your king is going to embrace your brother with more love than you have. I was completely shocked. I wanted my brother to be in my wedding and not just some side guest. I didn't know what to say. He wanted to put my brother on the sidelines. His whole family was playing some part in the wedding, and most of my bridesmaids were his cousins. Only 2 were close friends, but this he couldn't grant me. I stopped what I was doing and I told him no, this was my wedding too, and I wanted my brother to be my man of honor. He started that his sister was better and my brother could just be a guest. He didn't want children in the wedding parties. I completely lost it and I started arguing with him about one thing to the next. Since Saturday, he hasn't come home, only sending his brother to pick up his stuff. His mother and sister have been blowing up my phone, saying I'm a selfish woman and so what if my brother's just a guest. The last time they called was Wednesday night and I went batshit crazy on them, using language that I'm not proud of, but I ended the call with yes, my brother is more important than him and this wedding if it's happening. I will never put him in front of Matt, so I'm fucking sorry and to let James contact me when he wants to talk things out. Girl, you dodged a nuclear fucking missile. You were going to marry into this bullshit. Your first red flag was when you guys disagreed on the fact that he wanted to have your wedding on your brother's birthday and he ran to his mommy. I can't marry a man that refuses to stay and talk to me about the issues between the two of us. Your mama don't got a goddamn fucking thing to do with what's going on over here. That was your first fucking red flag and I would have called quits right fucking then. This shit was just gonna get worse. It was just going to get worse. After you guys got married, he was going to try to find a way to push your brother out of your life completely. Well, we need to prepare for the baby and we need to focus on getting things ready for the baby. You don't think you could go and live with one of your aunts or uncles or something? Because right now, I really just want to focus on our lives together. That's where that shit would have ended up after the wedding if you would allowed him to have this shit play out the way he fucking wanted to. You said that you guys agreed to get married this year because you didn't want your baby to be born out of wedlock. And I can promise you that there are worse things in the world. Like marrying a man who runs to his mommy and his sister when he doesn't get his way. A man that gets with a woman, proposes to her, says he wants to spend his life with her, knowing that she has spent the better part of her life taking care of her little brother, just to turn around and try to push him away as if he's not fucking important to her. There are worse things in this world. You guys will be okay. I know it's not ideal and it's not what you wanted, but it's going to be okay.